Hey friends, this is Pastor Fieberkorn here with you. It's time for Tuesdays with Marty, August the 20th, 2024. And this quote, I actually probably should have, wish I would have located this last week in advance of Sunday's sermon, but it follows on its heels pretty well. You remember this past Sunday, if you were in worship, we had our third consecutive gospel reading from John chapter 6, Jesus, Bread of Life Discourse. And of course, the end is kind of the grand finale of the speech when Jesus says, "Unless you eat my flesh and drink my blood, you have no life in you. My flesh is true food, and my blood is true drink. Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood abides in me, and I in him. Whoever eats this bread will live forever." And so I tried to make the case Sunday that Jesus here is speaking about the Lord's Supper, his flesh and blood that he'll give for the life of the world. And what a great benefit that is to come to the communion rail and kneel and receive the body and blood of Christ hidden in this sort of mysterious way under the veil of bread and wine. Um, and it's a gift that God has given us by which he feeds us and nourishes our faith. It's not necessarily understandable how this works other than God has promised it's true and promised to give us himself when we come there. And so, in light of those great promises, by the way, which the Catholic Church shares with us as they believe, Luther said this. He said, "The great requirement, therefore, is this: we must discover, and it shouldn't be discovered, we must discover that we are really sinners and then come to the table of the Lord for comfort and relief." And so this is just confession and absolution. Usually we talk about confessing our sins and then hearing the words of absolution, the declaration that our sins are forgiven. Well, this is just another way of saying that. Discover that we're really sinners means to look inside our heart and say, "I'm the man, I'm a sinner." And then instead of just hearing the gospel, which is one way that we hear and receive the forgiveness of sins, come to the table of the Lord for comfort and relief. And Luther here is just teaching us that the gospel comes to us in many ways. It comes through baptism, it comes through the written and spoken word, and it comes from the sacrament of the Lord's Supper. And so I hope and pray that when people do come to the Lord's table, one, that they've examined themselves, that they admit that they're sinners in need of forgiveness. But second, more importantly, I hope that when they taste that bread and wine and know that they're receiving nothing less than the body and blood of Christ, that gives them comfort beyond anything in this world, to know that God is there for them, feeds them, sustains them, nourishes and strengthens their faith to life everlasting. All right. Well, have a good rest of your week, and we will see you later.